The Whites were sitting in the West stands, and the score wound up 34-28.
The only thing we proved that we wasn't inferior, that we were not inferior, and we were not afraid.
For one night, for 160 minutes, we was better than them.
Majesty is a premium health and wellness tea line focused on bringing delicious yet healthy tea blends to the community. Filled with an abundance of vitamins and antioxidants, we work to blend teas with exotic spices and fruits to produce scrumptious and wholesome beverages. So check us out at mymajesties.com. That's MyMajesties.com. My Majesties, an Urban Passport member.
True Black Essentials is a retail opportunity to bring Black businesses under one roof, where every product on every shelf in every aisle will be Black owned and Black produced by people all over the world. Statistics show that the $1.3 trillion of spending power that we have as Black people can easily be turned into each Black person having $2 million if we were to shop Black for 2 years. So True Black Essentials will launch an e-commerce store on November 1st, 2020, but we will open up brick and mortar stores in Atlanta, New Orleans, Charlotte, Houston, and Jacksonville, with the very first store opening in Atlanta, June 19, 2021.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Sugar Chateau Desserts is a specialty bakery located in the Charlotte, North Carolina metro area. We will create delicious and one-of-a-kind treats for any occasion. Sugar Chateau is currently shipping cakes in a jar, offering a variety of different flavors in a single-serve container that can help you celebrate in accordance with social distancing. Place your orders today by calling 803-526-7895 or visiting sugarchateaudesserts.com.
Q Time is a classic Atlanta soul food restaurant located in the historic West End. Q Time Soul Food is a family business started by Fred and Christine Crenshaw. Come on in, relax, and sink your chops into our tantalizing, mouth-watering, distinctive soul food with a twist, the Q Time way. 1120 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, or call your order in at 404-758-2881. Do you miss your mama's cooking? Then come on down to Q Time, an Urban Passport member.
I'm attorney Clinton Paris, and Tampa's my community. I grew up here, went to school here, and my wife and I make our home here. What makes Tampa special are its people. So when I represent someone injured in my community, it's personal. Call my office and speak to a real lawyer and not some referral service. I will fight the insurance companies to get the settlement that you deserve. At the law office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being hurt.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earthblend Coffee.
Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique to spice up your closet with trendy, unique looks. We have fashionable and chic looks at very affordable prices. Velvet Boutique offers free shipping all year long on all orders. Shop online at www.melvetboutique.com. That's www.melvetboutique.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique.
what's in our chat, D?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Random Thoughts with DVP. Today is, I don't ever know what the day is. Ain't that a shame? I should know by now. Today is the 17th of February.
Mm-hmm.
And we on here, we're going to start a little drama, see what's going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I got my man Lyle from Makeup and More. We're gonna do a little something. He got a question. He got a question for y'all. I'm gonna let him start his own trouble. And my super producer Roy is in the background. Just he hovering. He may pop up and make a little cameo. What's up, Mark? So today is, like I said, the day the 17th, and I'm gonna just get my quick little monologue in so we can go ahead and get to the troublemaking portion of the class.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I want to say. I'm 55. I've been into politics really deep, probably the last 5 or 6 years. So it wasn't a lot I knew about it before then. And you know, I'm looking at the political scene and how quick we are to judge something, and people who don't know politics. And I understand what it is, because the one something about us as a race is we still microwavable, and we think everything can be solved in 1 minute, 1 day, 1 vote. And we are really quick to forget history and how things play out and work out. Now, I just said this to say this, and I said it before in a post. Looking for Joe Biden or anybody else to be your savior, you're always gonna lose. But stop thinking that they gonna save you. They got a country to worry about. And you know, I get calls or messages, and people say, well, what about the black agenda? And I'm gonna do a show on this. What about the black agenda? We have no agenda. Excuse my French, but niggas want one something, hood dudes want one something. Everybody got something they claim is a black agenda. And if the black agenda does not benefit the race, it is not a black agenda. And politically speaking, I hear what your beef is. But when I ask you what specifically affected white people, because that's a race, and no president technically works for a race except for the one we deposed, and that's why he had to go. And I hate when people keep wanting to say the lesser of two evils. This ain't the lesser of two evils. These are two totally different concepts. And the more you understand about politics, because every time Biden does something, he's been in office, it ain't even been 60 days, and we want to judge him. And do you remember what 45 did in his first 60 days? Remember, he shut the government down over a wall. Your president ain't trying to be that same guy. So I don't know why it is that we trying to hold him to standards, because he ain't doing something. Remember, we had never seen anything like 45. That's why we didn't know what to do. Now that we've seen this and we don't recognize politics or politicians because we ain't seen them, Biden ain't gonna be able to get everything right. Biden ain't gonna be able to get a lot of stuff right, because no politician can. And I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna go on to something else. When you understand what executive orders are, they shut down stuff based on the president, and they can be changed just like that. Well, he could do an executive order for this, so he gonna feed you for a couple of days. But in 4 years, if you don't win, somebody gonna undo it, just like he undid a lot of 45 stuff. When you get stuff done through Congress and through the Senate, it has a longer lasting effect. And y'all, we gotta understand politics, and more importantly, because I'm so tired of talking about the stinking crime bill, because y'all just refuse to read it. I'm thinking all of y'all are Retrumplicans because y'all won't read. Understand this, and this is as clear as I can say this about the stinking crime bill. It was for federal criminals. If you look at the timeline, the crime bill came out in the 90s. The war on drugs started in the 80s. It actually started with Nixon, but it reached a crescendo with Reagan. The crime bill came way after that. We were being in prison in mass way before that. And if we want to be factual about it, if we're being honest, I know a lot of y'all do revisionist history. Black people loved one president before Obama. You know who that was? That was Bill Clinton. And guess who signed the crime bill? Bill Clinton. But you know what? We don't ever bring him up because the Russian and the Retrumpicans don't say that. They want us to go after Biden, who introduced it, but Bill Clinton signed it. So if we're going to talk facts, let's talk real facts and stop speaking with what other people told you because you don't want to take the time out to read or do your research. I ain't saying Biden is going to be great by no means. He's a politician. But I also ain't saying, I'm saying quit promoting stuff. Oh, we heard this. And this is what Republicans, this is what the GOP, they infiltrate us and they tell us to say, and we repeat it without doing any research. And that's all I'm saying. We learn, we talked about COINTELPRO. That's how they infiltrated us. We won't do the same thing. When we see a white group, we go in there raising hell and get kicked out. And then we miss all the planning. Everybody who wins a war, they get somebody on the inside who listens and come back and give back detail. That's why we can't win. Because we want stuff in 30 days. We want stuff in 60 days. That man got more than 3.5 years left to do stuff. And I know most of y'all remember the saying, he can walk down the hill and get everything he want, or he can run down there and catch the slowest bull and win one fight.
Right.
This is about trying to get more of what you want. And some things ain't worth pushing through. The best example I can give for us is all of us have been in relationships. At some point, you got to decide when and it's just us guys now. It's me, Roy, and Lyle. Do I want to win the fight or do I want to keep my woman? Sometimes you let the fight go. Even though it was important to you, if it's going to cause a damper between you and your woman, it ain't worth winning. You just got to let her have that one. And taking the L is okay, because sometimes the L helps the relationship go on. Even when you're right, sometimes you got to let it go. How does it affect the bigger picture? And that's part of what we got to look at. And part of today's show, those are some of the things we're going to be talking about, because we like to misrepresent stuff or give out partial information and want it to be factual when it's really not. What's up, CB? And that's what we got to start understanding, and stop trying to judge somebody after 30 days. Everybody's going to make mistakes. Everybody. It's the nature of the beast. But we want people to just do what's right by what we think they should be doing. And come on, that's just not the way it is. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the show, and so we can go ahead and have a little fun. Because, hey, Judge Glanville, what's going on with you, sir? See, hey, y'all gonna learn, man. I know some legit people, and if I'm lucky, I'm gonna have a talk with Judge Glanville, who's actually one of my favorite judges, and I want them to come on and explain some things to y'all, why y'all don't understand the way certain things work. I've been in it, and I try to tell y'all what I know from doing it. I talked to a guy the other day, and he said he would never be a cop. But you got so many ideas on how to change the system, but you won't join it to be a part of it to change it. And he wanted to tell me about all the racists that were in it. Well, there are gang members in it too, who promote their own agenda. If we want to change the system, you got to be a part of the system. See, if you really want to change the culture of the NFL, and this is why I don't judge them, tell me how many black men they've turned down for ownership before you call them racist. Because the NFL is a billionaires club, and there are some black billionaires, but you know what they don't want? They don't want the hardship and the headaches on the NFL team. So when we look at the $1 million players, do we judge them? They the ones with the money. And it's crazy for us as a race to say, let's boycott the NFL. So these 70% of black men that they're making millionaires, we're saying in our simple minds, let's boycott the NFL and let's stop these few black men that can be millionaires. Let's stop them from being millionaires so we can prove a point. So guess what you're going to have? You're going to have more disenfranchised black men, because you're boycotting a battle that makes no sense. Because last time I heard, and hey, man, my buddy's here, trouble no more. Last time I heard, the NFL ain't got nothing to do with making no laws, passing no crime, or police reform. And hey, Judge and Mama, number 7 wasn't that good in the first place. When he was a starting quarterback, he didn't have nothing to say. So on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna roll on to some stuff y'all got in the questions. We're gonna move. I got about 3 or 4 topics that we're gonna touch. I just had to get that out of the way because I'm tired of people wanting to change the system, but nobody wants to be a part of the system. Oh, and this is my last thing. If you think our vote didn't count, why you think they was fighting so hard to get rid of them? If you go back and look at all the votes they wanted taken away, look at where they were. They were in black cities. They were trying to take away the black city votes. See, they were after Atlanta, not Georgia, Atlanta. They were after Detroit. Every city that they were going for was a black city. But we'll keep telling that same lie, our vote don't count. they just told you vote counted, but
Right.
we gonna still act like it don't count, because if you don't want to vote, it's easier to shame other people than just to say you don't know enough to vote responsibly. And that's okay. Admit that and learn. Because I did tell some people don't vote because they didn't know what they were voting for. They didn't know none of the issues. Let's stop voting ignorantly and blaming the wrong person. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when you go to jail, it had more to do with your mayor, police chief, and sheriff than it did with anybody in DC. And you're gonna keep electing them. So that's all I'm saying. So yeah, I see my man B is here. He looked like he in deep thought. He probably watching porn right quick. B, what's happening with you? Oh, don't look up now like you. What's going on with you, B? You came here to start some trouble with me, bro?
Today, brother. Yeah, I came on today.
That's what's up. And it's actually one of your posts. I can't remember which one. It's one that I was gonna bring up. Hey, look at that. My dream team is in the house. What's going on? What's going on, Ray? Ray is part of my management team. She the one keep the page going. So hey, y'all give a quick shout out to Ray, because all the stuff that y'all love on the Random Thought page, that's Ray doing.
What up, Ray?
So with that being said, let's have a little fun. Let's have a little fun. What's up, Ernest Moore?
E.
I'm gonna go and let Lyle start the show, because Lyle said he want to know what's up with hey Roy, can you play Sir Mix-a-Lot?
Yeah, girls got big butts, and I cannot lie. Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? It's your boy Makeup and More in the building. I said I wanted to get on the hot seat. I said I wanted to start some shit like DVP and be revealed. B, you know you be starting up something sometime. So man, you know, it just been getting me that when I'm looking at all this social media, here's my question, because you know, DVP got all these ladies following him. They gonna comment and get their 2 cents and stuff like this. Now I know that we, as older, not younger brothers, you know, we deal with some very classy ladies and things like that, right? You know, our followers, whoever, that's our circle. You know, I don't got a whole lot of hood rats in my circle. They might be in there, but I don't know. So, in dealing with these classy ladies, when did butt become the freaking biggest commodity out there? And let me tell you why. We got Facebook, we got Instagram, we got all this, right? Why are women then just showing their butt more than anything? They will start off the video with the butt. I mean, you know, hey, I'm a guy, you know, I like it, it's cool. But for real, for the educated, degreed women, and I'm not saying all the degree women resort to that to get attention, but why does it seem like the majority of women is showing that ass? Now, we old school, we know this saying, it's not the beauty, it's the booty, right? Because that's all we used to be worried about, it was little cakes back in the day. But it seems like it's coming to fruition, and some of them women on the line can tell me, why is it? You know, a woman to put on here's a couple examples. A woman to put on a jacked up ass weave or a wig, just popped up on their head, and then turn that butt to the screen and start twerking. When did that become the thing? Okay, you got ass, but what's up here? You know, what's the rest of the package? So that's my question to the ladies.
And let me, I know you said it's for the ladies, but I think,
no, I want y'all to chime in. Let me see what you think.
And I actually want Brian on this. I think that's more something that guys started acting like they like, and women were fishing, so they put out the bait that we said we like. Because you know, I'm gonna definitely take the opposite and say I'm not a butt man. So all that butt, it is whatever. No, that means you got more gas in there. You know what I'm saying? So my mental don't want all that booty. And you know, it's a couple other reasons, but I'm gonna let them go. We're gonna try to keep the show as PG as we can. So you know, but you know, you always hear guys talking about the booty. I've never been a booty guy, never. I don't get it, but I get why women do it, because there's so many dudes who looking for it, and I think we have to look at who we looking at, because is it that? And I just had to argue with a guy, and it's gonna be one of my topics. Is it because we was chasing sex and we was looking at that booty, or we looking for a good woman? Because good women ain't leading with the booty. It might be there, but they ain't leading with it. So when we in our hormones, we look, well, y'all, because I still ain't a booty dude. When we in our hormones, dudes is looking at the booty. And then they get caught up. That's how come so many of them get caught slipping, which is actually, like I said, is going to lead into one of my other topics. But I want to hear what Brian got to say.
I basically want to start my point like this, and I think if you have a particular age, I think you already know. But I think it goes: you can't trust a big butt and a smile,
Then the
man.
smile.
Right?
Right, son.
So this goes way back for me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think I'm just like any other man in that instance. If it's your thing, it's your thing. But you know, when you see a woman with a nice ass and she walk across the room, I don't know. I mean, you may get a slight peek in, but you gonna go for the peek. It's just something about it. For me, if we're gonna loop this into the social media thing, I think this is kind of where it all started. Like back in that era, Belle Biv DeVoe. I think really Two Live Crew kicked it off. They brought the strip club to the music scene. Because where was the examples before that? And I think that the reason why you really see women feeling like they gotta, show their assets in order to be relevant. I mean, they're catering to in my opinion, a very underserved audience because I don't think it's enough of it. So, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You like it or you love it. It's either you play the game or you sit your ass on a bench. That's where it is with me. You do see more women who are more established, meaning they have a career. They're classier women. I see a lot of those women that were, very church oriented back in the day.
Last year,
revealing a little bit more because she sees the pressure of all of these other women that you see that are actually more relevant in the social media space, but not so much in real life. So in order for them to feel desirable, I feel like they think they need to do that. I would like to hear more from the women too on this because I'm sure there has to be a competitive element to that.
Hold on, B, they're asking about you. How old are you?
I'm 40.
B is 40. That's my brother from Texas. He I forgot his nickname because he wasn't supposed to cut his. What's your nickname I gave you again?
I don't know. Troublemaker.
What's the name of your show?
Yeah.
But okay, so I changed it again. So, listen, this is the final. It's the Brian Reveal show. No more changes, but I think you said mindless chaos or something like that.
Oh yeah. Brian is mindless chaos. The brother like to ask thought-provoking questions, and if you're sensitive, you know what I'm saying. If you ain't prepared for a debate, it's kind of like my page. Don't come there with just rash foolishness because he's gonna call you out. He's a little bit more unhinged than me, but that's because he's younger. So he got caught up in that drug-induced era where he a little off center. But he's a factual brother. And I got my girl Chloe on here talking because I'm trying to get her on the show. She gonna quit playing with me one day. And
what'd she say?
She made a point, man. Men big ups Cardi B. They lose their mind over her and they glorify. But then they dog women during sundress season who don't have big butts. Men, and I'm gonna use the term loosely, dudes are glorifying ass because they're more into sex. And when you get to a certain age, especially the women, they stop doing it because they're not looking for that hit it and quit it brother. And the brother who ain't looking for that hit it or quit it woman, stop looking at a woman who lets that be there. I mean, if a woman got a big butt, there ain't a whole lot she can do about it. But we do know for a fact that women know how to dress conservatively, not to let all of their assets be accentuated at the improper time. But again, that's an age and a mentality, because I hate to put stuff on age. A lot of it is mentality. And people say, well, when do men grow up? Well, it depends on their experiences. If they ain't never experienced nothing, they ain't gonna never grow up. The more experience.
So when do women grow up? You got the older women dressing young like that to attract men. So
but you got
be caught up in it.
But you got to see what phase they're going through. Are they going through a Stella got a groove phase back? I mean, you figure now, because and it's funny. I talked to a woman who got married at 18. Her husband died 30 years later. So at 48, she's only dated one dude. She's only had sex with one dude. Now she's finna have a moment, but she's never experienced that. And we looking at her, well, damn, she 48, she should be doing this. Why? Because for 30 years, she was a loyal wife. She never had the options of dating and going out and doing this with multiple people and experiencing this. So now it's her opportunity. Age doesn't quite equate to a lot of things. We got to look at people's experience. The more experienced you are, the quicker you go through your phases. Age won't get you there. Age just means we had a bunch of birthdays. But what do we do during them birthdays? If you know, I don't know about you guys, but if you ain't never been broke, see, that's a whole life experience. People who ain't never been broke don't understand certain struggles that broke people get. They get a little bit quicker. Some people don't get the same things. It's kind of like B does stuff with finances. I do stuff with law. So as a cop, I saw things that changed the way I look at certain things, which is why sometimes when I talk, I can tell you what I saw from total strangers. And see, Lyle and B can tell you what's in their circle. As a cop, I don't get a circle anymore. I'm dealing with random people. So I see things that if I just dealt with my circle, I would be ignorant to. Because, I mean, in reality, B, how many times you go to your friend's house and his girlfriend laying on the couch with her head blowed open? You don't know them kind of people, do you? Lyle, you don't know them kind of people. Hell, I don't know them kind of people. But if I go to work and see it, see, now I'm introduced to a whole different something. And don't nobody in my circle know how to deal with me now because they've never experienced that. And that's part of the equation. Experiences dictate where we are. And, you know, same thing with men. If B had been married 30 years and something happened to his wife, when he get out, he going to be like a kid in the candy store because now he got all this new stuff that is just wow. And he found out he can get this, this, and this. That's what's going to happen. So we can't keep blaming it on age. And we have to look at who the target audience is. Like I said, I've seen women with big butts. To me, y'all know I'm shallow. Either you're cute or you ain't. Your big butt, you can't even get bonus points, which you ain't gonna get none from me for a big butt. I like round butts. I seen big square butts. I seen big golf ball butts. I seen butts that look like they got hit with a hella hailstorm. Hey. But then I know guys who love that. They don't care. The bigger it is, the better it is. And as Chloe said, they lose their mind. You can't tell them nothing. They be talking about how pretty and fine she is. I'm like, that's a mud duck for sure. And, you know, then we got the booty injections that ain't healthy and women trying to achieve this look. Well, damn, how you even spooning in the middle of the night with that big old ass? And I'm a spooner. But if your ass pushing me back 3 feet off of you, we're going to have some problems with intimacy because I got to call you to let you know I'm trying to spoon with you because your ass is taking up so much space. So you know what? All right, ain't nothing wrong with a nice apple bottom. But a big old booty is a whole different issue. And that's what, you know, everything is about, the big old booty. I actually came from somewhere, so I ain't had time to set up my blue. I almost didn't make it in time. But I'm going to try to get me something to drink when we take 1 hour breaks. But yeah, so I think, you know, it's kind of like women do with the gray sweats. And I didn't know that was a thing until like 3 years ago. What's up with these gray sweats? Well, some of y'all nasty. But that's only really a certain group of women. B, have you ever been married? I don't think. Have you been married?
Not yet.
But you've been in serious relationships.
Yeah. Not really because I'm a serial dater.
Did any of your women buy you gray sweats?
Nah.
See, and I'm thinking I ain't never.
What's up with the gray sweats? Is that so they can pull them way up and show their camel toe?
No, because it's a lateral version. So basically, if your woman does buy you gray sweats, you're not allowed to wear them outside of the house because if you do, it's a problem.
Right?
Because you swinging in them, right? And they don't want you swinging.
That sway is only meant for her eyes. It's not meant for you.
Right.
Yeah. Them gray sweats will cause a divorce. But and Chloe, what you doing? You want to come on the show, Chloe? Because I see you right there. Do I need to send you a link to the show, Chloe? Because I know you typing, and I think you got another show. Is yours after mine or soon? But she says people, not just women, are driven these days by attention. Everyone is looking for love and attention and whatever it takes to get it. And that's what they go for. But see,
I agree.
And I'm going to say why I disagree. They're not looking for love. They look for instantaneous sex. And I hate when people keep trying to mix sex with love. When you can have sex with a total stranger, you can only make love with certain people. And when people start trying to act like the two are intertwined, see, I respect the woman who can have sex on the first date because she know what she want. But if we trying to in the middle of having sex on the first date and everything chilling, if she look over me and tell me she love me, see right then, I'm ghost. We ain't making love. We don't know each other like that because making love is more of a mental, spiritual, psychological condition.
But what if she made
Sex
you
is
wait like
physical.
3 weeks? What if
What
she made you wait like 3 weeks so she figured she was taking the proper time, getting to know you more, talk to you?
But then that ain't sex on the first date.
Once you get into it, she thinks she's making love. Yeah.
Well, but see, but that tells me more about her mentality because before we can make love, I ain't never made love to a woman who I hadn't said it to. We can't make love if the words ain't been exchanged yet. That's just straight BS. But some people don't want to call what they looking for, and you know, I ain't had no shame about when I was a maintenance man. When I was a maintenance man, none of those women who came to me to get their plumbing fixed called it love making. They knew what it was. I knew what it was. I can respect women more who know what sex is and that's what they want, because then there are no confusions. But when they start talking about, oh, we're gonna make love, who are you talking to? Call me back when your boyfriend leave, because we not finna make love. And everything get lost in that whole sex love transition because women who like sex just as much as we do can't say it because then they become shame. And as Chloe has said earlier, it's about that attention. And again, it's a mentality.
That's where the butt comes from, the attention.
Yeah,
wanting and needing that attention.
But that's a mentality because who really needs that attention? I mean, don't get me wrong. When we go out, we dress for a reason. I don't care what nobody tell you about. They don't care what nobody think. They lying because they take time to make sure they socks match. They take time to make sure their underwear ain't got no holes or whatever. You know, and me and Trina was just talking. And I'm gonna get into this too. When you ask a woman out on a date, when she get dressed, she is not trying to go to Wendy's. When she get dressed, she want to go somewhere to be seen. Understand that when we put our suits in town, we want to be seen. We ain't going through the drive-through with no suit on because why do we don't buy cologne to smell ourselves. We do it for a reason because we want, everybody want attention of some kind sometime. We don't want to be stalked. But there's a difference between wanting just casual attention and wanting to be the main piece. And you lead with that. You know, you see these guys. I'm gonna pick on them first. You see these guys who every time they post, they got on the wife beater, they got their little pecs showing. And I'm just say this, dude. Some of y'all ain't got pecs, y'all got full-fledged breasts. Stop the madness. But that's what they posting for the women to see. You know, they got a little sweat dripping. They got on these medium shirts. Dude, you know you need an extra large. Stop that. Yeah. And women do the same thing. And to me, it tells me more about their mentality. And remember how you used to always say, if I met a good woman, I would let her go if I wasn't in that phase because she was truly a good woman. But if she say she's a good woman, but she's doing thought shit, I would keep messing with her because she ain't as good as she thought she was. I don't want to corrupt the woman who is actually putting out good woman stuff and she thinks she can change me because she wasn't gonna change me. But if she's just talking shit, I'm gonna be talking shit with her. But that's part of the concept where we gotta realize who we are, where we are. You know, Roy dates with a purpose. I ain't figured that shit out yet. Brian said he was a serial dater. See, that's what me and Brian kissing cousins. Not in that sense. Now I'm just saying we got the same mentality. I was a serial dater because I don't believe you should stop dating multiples until you find the one. Roy and lots of other people want to date one. Hey, whatever floats your boat. But I ain't finna sit there and tell Roy he should date multiples no more than I can tell Brian, you ain't gonna find the right woman if you dating a bunch of them at a time. Competition is king. Competition is king. And I say this, and I'm sure Brian can co-sign it. When you date multiple women, I guarantee you can't catch all of them with a bad attitude at the same time, which was my whole reason for dating multiple women. If one had a bad attitude, before I cancel her off, I could just do something else and come back when she felt better. But if I'm dating this one woman and she got a bad attitude for 2 or 3 days, she gone for good because I don't have no other option because I limited myself. You know,
that's true. I mean, I don't even know when I say stick around, it's because it's not for the sake of me just like dashing, right? I don't stick around because for me, I know exactly what it is that I'm looking for. And if you don't display those qualities, why should I waste any more time? You know what I'm saying? And I don't even have a list. I think you can probably say 3 or 4 things. That's not really a list. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, go ahead, Roy. What you got?
Oh, I see him over there now. All right.
Hello, Roy in the building.
Clarify some stuff. One, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with big butts. I think your friend that you were trying to get on, she actually made a point. Look, one of the reasons that a lot of women are doing it now, dude, you go to OnlyFans, it's people out there making $20,000, $30,000 a month, showing people they behind. I mean, that's why a lot of people doing that stuff nowadays, because you have the ability to make money off of it. And you know, they sat there and I think one of the things that we have to realize, and I think this is kind of where you and your friend, as far as I see it, have a different perception. She did make a point that I agree with. A lot of people are looking for love. They don't know how to express love though. So when they do that, that ends up tying them into sex. Like my ex had a friend who she associated sex and love. You know, this is when we were in our 20s and stuff. So it's a different situation for her when she, you know, as soon as she had sex with somebody, oh, I love them. And it's just like, this is one of the things that I agree with you on. Love takes time. And see, that's what people don't realize. I've always said, do I believe in love at first sight? No. Let me tell you why. Because love, you can have a strong attraction at first sight. You can connect with somebody at first sight. And when you first meet them, because our bodies do have chemical reaction.
Right.
That is a real thing that happens. But love is so much more about what you will do than what you feel. Because trust me, if you see this person, oh, love at first sight, I'm in 100%. We together. 30 days later, your ass find out they now have a debilitating disease and they need somebody to take care of them. How many of y'all gonna stay after them 30 days? Right, right.
But after what period of time? Are we talking we've been together for years?
No. I said 30 days, because this is supposed to be love at first sight.
Well, then that's not true. It can't be true. Now, you know.
Exactly. Because if you love that person, because if you've actually grown to love that person, you're not going to walk away from them because now they can no longer physically do what you wanted them to do. That's what people got to look at. When you talk about loving someone, like I said, this is one of the areas that me and D agree on. We may look at it differently, but we agree on the fact that you don't love me the first night. You don't know me well enough to love me. You know, you might not like the way I chew cereal, shit. You know, it's just like it is what it is. Those are things that we have to get into. Now, as it relates to my statement, yes, I do date with a purpose. That doesn't mean that I don't still date random individuals. But what we do, and this is one of the things that we talked about for, she want to get in, D, send her the link. We have to, I tell people, I'm about 100% honesty. And Ray, first off, what's happening, Ray? My girl Ray, we chit-chatted in a minute. But like me and Ray are good friends now. And, you know, we met through D to the point where Ray has done something. D, so her and my girl India. This had to be about 4 or 5 years ago. They took me out dancing for my birthday. I hadn't been out dancing in years. They heard me say I like it. I'm like, cool. That's when you connect with people and they get you and they cool with that. When I say I date with a purpose, yes, I do. But I'm gonna tell you up front, because me and her had this conversation about 100% honesty from the rip. I'm gonna tell you a bunch of stuff. The only things that I tell people, as far as I'm looking at it at the very beginning of a relationship, don't get into my pockets at the beginning of the relationship. When you start asking me about it, we ain't talking about a relationship. We can't have that conversation till we talk about a relationship. Now, if we talk about having relations, then yeah, you got the right to ask some questions about my personal activities and stuff that I did or that I'm doing, because I'm trying to share that space with you. But when you talk about dating with a purpose, it's about letting who that person is at the beginning, know that at the beginning, that's what I want to do. Now, if that person says to me, well, you know what, Roy, I'm not looking for that right now. Okay, cool. So at that moment, it's my choice to decide, do I enjoy being in this person's presence enough to continue with this? But she need to know that I am looking for somebody down the line. So don't get mad that if all we having is this here, and then I'll be like, hey, guess what? I done found somebody else. I'm ready to shut stuff down and just focus on that person individually. But I don't think that I do believe that you cannot be seriously considering, like, you can't be seriously considering two people at one time. Because no, you can, but it's a dangerous thing to do because you're inherently going to compare those two people.
Why is it dangerous though?
But ain't that what you're supposed to compare them? Which one?
I don't.
That's the best comparison.
I wouldn't say
that's two people because. Go ahead, Brian. No, go ahead.
I wouldn't say compare them against each other. Like, okay, she does this, she gonna do
right.
Like, not in that way, right?
But that's what I'm talking about. See, that to me, that's what's gonna happen because you're in your mind. You're just like you just used the word. You're creating that competition between the two of them.
Well, that's what I wanted to preface and say. This is what you should not do. But what you should do is, instead of looking at it like, okay, what one will do versus what the other one wouldn't do, and maybe have, because there have been some instances, and even, you know, I was a lot younger, to where you may want to drive a little bit of competition, right? But that's what boys do, not men. From a competitive standpoint, it comes down to your needs. Who is taking care of your needs in a way that when you have a really, really messed up day and you need to come home, who is more attentive to you? Who's more interested in saying, you know what, babe, I don't want to talk about it. Why? Disqualified.
Right. And I think you need that competition though, because you're not comparing them against each other. You're comparing them to what they do and make you feel. And you know, especially.
Let me jump. Hold on. I'm gonna stop you because I'm gonna bring something up. That you used to talk about all the time. So I got a question for both you and Brian on this point. So I'm going to assume that you're honest and open brothers. So do these two know about each other?
No.
And let me say this. I'm honest.
So Brian's answer is no. D, what's your answer first?
If they ask me, yes. I'm not volunteering my personal information. And I tell you, I assume when I'm dating, I assume that they're dating. Until we have the exclusive conversation, I never assume that we're something. Now, if they want to know about my life, I will tell them. What I won't do is give them specifics. But when a woman says, are you seeing other women? Yes. Are you sleeping with other women? Yes. Remember, I told you now, I used to have a calendar above my bed. Right. I didn't want no confusion. I know that when you come in here, make a choice. These are the women that I'm seeing. Imagine what you want. But if there ain't an open date on that calendar, that means you can't see me and you see a bunch of different names. And that's why I tell people, women, and it was crazy, women love that honesty portion because now they can make a choice. Now, if I sit there and tell them, oh, baby, you're gonna be the one I can see a future with you. No, I saw a future 35 minutes with you. Tomorrow's a whole different story, but tomorrow is Kim's day. Friday is Lisa's day. Saturday, I'm taking off the rest because I'm going out of town. Sunday is Trina's day. You know what I'm saying? My calendar was what it was, but I was cool with that. Even though, hey, Chloe, even though people chastise me for it, at the end of the day, most women, grown women, respected my honesty about it, but I ain't gonna flaunt it in her face. So when we do this, it's about what can people handle, because women, like some men, can't handle the truth. They want their truth. They want to hear the perfect lie so they feel good about it. And we've gotten too much into that habit of lying to help people out. And it comes back to bite us because, and I'm going to use Chloe since she's here now. Chloe is one of my favorite examples. Chloe was really, really outspoken. She was almost intimidating to me at first. And Chloe gave me a compliment one day, then she slapped me. Chloe was like, if I like small men, you'd be kind of cute. And I was like, what the hell is that? But she knew what she liked. I didn't take it personal. And you know, now she say, oh, when people say, oh, you cute for this, you cute for that, she tell them to keep moving. So after that, me and Chloe was just cool. We didn't look at each other in a sexual way. We can talk trash together. She loved to call me out and call me names and talk about my relatives, but I still love her for that. But we gotta do better and understand who is it we looking for. I'm sure Chloe can tell you, because I look at her post. Chloe, wow. Chloe can tell you when she was out there versus when she was looking truly for love. And she would counsel some dudes. You know, I love her honesty. She gave some dudes too many chances for the wrongest of reasons, but she's old enough to admit that now. But come on in here, Chloe, introduce yourself. She got herself on mute. Don't be no punk, Chloe. Take yourself off mute.
First of all, you done gave me a hell of an intro, so I don't even know what the hell you want me to say. What do you want me to say?
Tell them what your name is, Diva. I mean, you done changed it like 27 times because you wanted, but that's a whole nother story. But go ahead. Let me just say this. Chloe the one got me started in this, so anything that y'all don't like, blame Chloe.
How you want to blame me?
Remember how quiet I was till you made me start talking? But go ahead, Chloe.
Wait a minute. First of all, who gave you your name, DVP?
Anyway.
Oh.
What you got to say about the subject?
Hello. I mean, you guys are bouncing all over the place. You're everywhere. First of all, I want to address the gentleman in the corner, my bottom corner with the beautiful locks, who asked why do women jack their asses up and show it to the camera. The reason that women jack their asses up and show it to the camera is because brothers applaud it. Brothers like it. I can post a picture, for example, with me. I can post a picture with my hair just like this. I might get, well, now I get a lot of compliments. But okay, let's say if I go out with my hair like this, the chances of a brother trying to holler at me is slim to none. But let me throw a full head of weave in my head and they're running over each other to get to me. It's the same thing with the butt shots. If a woman posts a picture, she's just showing the front of her and you don't see what's behind her, she might get a couple of likes. But if she turned it sideways and she got a big donk, they're gonna be in the inbox, they're gonna be liking her pictures, they're gonna do all of that. So a lot of things that women do, they do it for attention, whether it's a good attention or bad attention. When you guys co-sign what she does, she's gonna keep on doing it. And that's why you have women now getting ass shots, getting butt lifts, getting all this stuff done because they're getting the attention that they normally wouldn't get. Everybody wants to be loved. Yes, brother.
So I think what I'm hearing is because you said to validate it. So that means that somehow puts a level of responsibility into men becoming paternal.
Well, I'm not. Well, you know what? I'm not blaming you guys for it because a lot of times men will say, "Well, let me tell you what one of my biggest issues is when people use the word someone being insecure. Insecurity to me is a word that is overly used.
Yes.
It is overly used because every single one of us on here has something about their sister. I don't care. You could be the most confident motherfucker there is. There's something within everyone that causes insecurity. And whenever you are out here looking for love, you will do oftentimes whatever you need to do to get the attention to get towards your goal of finding love. So if that means turning your ass sideways out of those hundreds of men that really just want to fuck you, you hoping there's just one that genuinely wants to get to know you.
Very good. Very good.
Based on the image that she created for the validation.
Yes.
I think what we have to be clear on is that we know what the social media game is. If you're over 25 years old, you understand the dynamics. So if you or if anyone puts themselves out there in a vulnerable position to where the attention is based on the image that we're trying to sell, which is sex oriented, then we cannot be naive about the responses that come as a result of what we put out there, because we create that.
I mean, I understand that. I totally agree. You have to understand the chances of you being disrespected, of the type of attention that you're going to get. But if I got to go through 95 negative responses and somewhere in there I might get 5 that may turn into love, that's the chance that I'm going to take as a woman. Not saying me, I'm just saying period. Because it took me a long time to get to the point where I am, where I genuinely, love myself. It took me a long time to basically say, hey, this is me, take it or leave it. I just stopped wearing weave, maybe 2 years ago. And this, me not having edges, is the result of me feeling like I wasn't beautiful without it. Now, you don't have to take me as I am.
And that's part of that maturation, that it has no number. It's about experiences, because we all get it at different times. And that's why I hate when people bring up age as a result of anything, because we mature differently, we experience this thing differently. But when we're looking for love, and again, we use that word so interchangeably, which kills us, because love and sex are not the same thing. Some of us clearly we want instant gratification, and we've been taught to say, like, I'm a Trekkie, and I was watching Star Trek all day, and I'm watching them talking about whoever's a Star Trek hoe is in love with a different race every show, and I'm like, that's what we are. Every time we meet somebody, oh, I think I love him. It's like, have y'all had an argument yet? Because if y'all ain't had an argument, love don't exist till after that first argument. But why are we using this word so loosely for the wrongest of reasons? And I had a friend on the show, Kelvin Rowe, and he taught me something different about love. See, I can say now I have a love for Chloe, even though we don't talk. If Chloe needs something, if Chloe reach out to me, I'm gonna do what I can to help fix it. Whereas before, I would have never said I had a love for Chloe, but he explained it. When you're willing to do something for people for no reason, that means you have a type of love for them. It may not be love I have for my wife or love I have for somebody else, but it's still a type of love. Because what is sister love? What is cousin love? It's just things we're willing to do for people. And sometimes people want affection so bad, and I think they want affection more than they want love, that they'll do whatever it takes to get it. And that's where the whole competition come in, and we talk about who's off limits and who ain't off limits, because we get into that, and we start tearing our own self down for the worst of reasons. As Chloe said, Chloe helped tear herself down. Hell, we all got insecurities. I've torn myself down about things. And sometimes people play on that, and then we think we're in love because they help us through that, when they're just manipulative. And that's one of those things that we learn with time. And so, as Chloe said, we learn to love ourselves. And no, don't let Chloe fool you. She's sitting down right there, right now. But Chloe, how tall are you, Chloe?
5'4". I thought I was taller, but I'm
okay. Chloe 5'4". 5 feet of that is legs. Chloe got legs for days. So when she stepped out with her legs, go and look at a couple of posts.
Darren, I did not come on here to be the focus of your conversation.
Well, I'm just saying though.
Well, we just saying, we was talking about women.
Don't let me come on here. You start objectifying me.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
No.
But I'm just saying.
Okay, so here's the thing. The same way that, like with me, for a very long time, I still wear my short shorts, but I wore my short shorts because my legs is what got so much attention. So if my legs is what's going to bring the boys to the yard, then guess what? I'm going to highlight my most loved asset. It's the same thing with ass.
Right.
Well,
and that's what I was getting at, because whatever it is, we do that. I mean, hell, when I found out that women love this beard, I made sure I kept it nice and soft. I made sure I kept it white. Whatever it is,
you got to be Darren versus Peter. It's because of your beard. So guess what? Once we started saying that you look like DVP, it was accentuated then. Same thing with beautiful locks. It's the same thing. If you look a hot mess without the locks and you start growing locks and you start getting attention, guess what? You ain't gonna be so quick to cut them locks off.
And that's what we do to get the attention that it is that we're trying to garner. Because at some point we all do want some kind of attention. And like I said, you figure out what your lane is, you figure out what the masses want, and you present yourself to them for whatever reason. Until you find out who you are, then you find more of yourself.
But check this out. My question was, when did we or here comes another caveat, allow the butt to be our best commodity? Because out of all the things that you guys said, there was a whole lot of truth into it. It's getting attention, there's things like that. But if the guys in the beginning say, oh, we like ass, and y'all show it, then that means that you guys are just giving us what we want. But then in a different mindset, you're saying, well, yeah, if these were eligible guys and this is what I have to do a little bit more, then yeah, it's okay, and I'm going to do that. So we all accentuate our features, whatever it is, because we do that. But my thing was, and the reason I brought up age, DVP says he hates age, but we got to know, because when we talk about maturity, that's all we're talking about. There is no number. I never said a number of age. But as we mature and as we get a little bit older, things change a little bit. But my thing for all the educated women with figures.
Education has absolutely nothing to do with just because she's educated.
You think differently.
No, not educated. Let me tell you something, baby. You can be educated and ghetto as hell. Education is.
I'm not saying you're.
Hold on. Educated is you have completed. You have gone to school and completed a degree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my degree, but whenever you have a conversation with me,
mm-hmm.
I can act more educated than the next one. Same thing with my daughter. My daughter went to school for hair. Most of her girlfriends have their degrees. It's a totally different conversation. So it has nothing. We got to stop thinking just because someone is educated that's supposed to make them think differently. That's just like thinking that because somebody is a preacher that they're not going to go out here and jump off in some foreign pussy. So education has nothing, for me, I'm just saying from my standpoint.
Okay.
Don't expect just because she's educated that she's not going to drop it like it's hot. Because she can be educated and she can be done fuck everybody in Omega Psi Phi.
Right.
She's smart enough to complete her degree.
Right. So what we say is nothing can be a full circle. So as I said, education doesn't make you better, but just like age, we think differently at different times. When we 50, we don't think like a 20-year-old. When you have and go through more things, education is a life experience like anything else. So when we go through whatever those life experiences are, it makes us think differently. So it's not because we're educated, we're better. Because my wife has a doctorate degree, or my ex-wife. Don't make her better or anything like that.
It's not even about better. It doesn't make her even. It doesn't make a person even. It doesn't make a person more mature. Age doesn't necessarily make a person more mature. This is not like
more times than not.
This is not the 60s and 70s. In the 60s and 70s, you graduated, you went to college, you got married, you had kids. You did not have the same influences that you have now. With social media and the things that you're constantly seeing between the music, what we see on TV.
How much we allow it to affect us, though. It's all out there.
But we can say how much we allow it to affect us,
mm-hmm.
but the redundancy of the thing, for example, if you go to sleep at night and you leave your radio on, mm-hmm. you wake up in the morning and you're wondering why you keep singing this song that you hate. Well, you keep singing this song. Don't mm-hmm. realize that it's something that you was listening to at night.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing about whenever you like Turn Down for What. I thought that was the dumbest song ever. Whenever you hear something over and over and over again, it goes, mm-hmm. it's this dumb as hell to I can tolerate it to it's not that bad to next thing you know, you're loving the damn song. That's just how it is now. Social media, TV, radio, it reprograms us. So it's not even so much about being mature anymore. It's the programming that's going on. So even whenever you listen to 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds and they can sing some of the same stuff that the 13-year-olds, you're looking at 40 and 50-year-old people that are on TikTok because that's the thing. So it's all about programming now. It's not necessarily even so much about you expecting someone to mature as they age, because it really is the 50 is the new 30s.
But then you know how people say they get off social media for a while, and some people say they don't watch news because it's all negativity. So it's just what we do or how much we engage in that. If we're a 50-year-old and we on social media and all the time, yeah, that will happen. But then some of us with maturity say, all right, I got to take a time out, or I got this work going on, I got bills, I got things to take. I don't even got time like that. But some people who may be 50 who ain't working, ain't doing shit, yeah, he right along with the rest of them. So that's what I say about maturity and responsibilities and everything. Like I say, it's not based on the age, and that's why I never said the age in the beginning, but just maturity and different things that we do in different sections of our life.
Can I add something really quick?
Yeah.
I think I appreciate the sort of context around what we're talking about, but I think this whole this culture is here to stay. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
You know. So I
Right.
think that if we're going to be savvy about how we embrace these people
Mm-hmm.
with as much respect as what's due to them, but also we got to know how we want to engage based on what our preferences are and what we like, because I know this may shift into a different conversation, but speaking of which, I think it's all based on reputation. And what I was going to bring up, DVP, is Lori Harvey, almost like everybody, right?
We're gonna get to that one after the break.
Okay, let's do that one after the break.
Yeah, let's get to Lori Harvey.
Yeah. All right. What I just want to give a quick shout out to Cinnamon. She got her own business that we do advertising with, and it is called
Wait.
You can't say
No, because it was another message coming in on my phone. It's called Minority Beauty Supplies. And since I got people who into that business, like I said, I'm gonna make sure that Cinnamon, you get introduced to Lyle, and I'm gonna let at some point before Chloe leaves, because Chloe's daughter is a beast with hair. She's a beast with it. I'm gonna let her tell y'all about herself before she got leave. Because Chloe, do you have a show coming up, or can you stay with us for a little bit longer?
No, I can stay with you a little bit longer. We actually we've actually pushed it out.
Okay, so she's gonna stay with us. All right, but we're gonna take a quick break, then we're gonna come back to the second part of the show. We're gonna talk about this whole women dating and dining, and we're gonna bring up Laura Harvey and Sierra and a couple other things about why we got certain issues with so much crazy stuff. So we'll be right back.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Let's face it, shopping for insurance can be time-consuming. That's why when it comes to your auto, home, and life insurance needs, make things simple and trust the experts at Allstate. They will help you get the coverage that fits your needs while helping you bundle your life, home, and auto policies. Bundling saves you money, sure, but it also saves you time, so you can enjoy the things that matter most even more. Contact me, Tammy Haynes, your local agent, for a free personalized insurance quote. Allstate, are you in good hands?
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell them mama hungry.
This is right.
All right, what's up? Let me correct something I said. I think I said minority, and I meant to say Melanin Beauty Supplies is what Cinnamon has going, and she got a lot of things there. You'll see her ad, but check out her website. Cinnamon, I know if you're still here, post a link to it so they can see it. So we left the break talking about things, and we talking about, how different people perceive stuff. And I finally got my girl Chloe to join me last minute. Them the best kind of guests because they ain't got time to prepare for nothing. And I was in a group today, and a guy had asked, why do women go on dates for food with guys they're not interested in? And and I gave my thought process on it, and I'm gonna stick with it. One, I don't think that's a majority, but too many times we We lead with our money. We lead with telling women what we're gonna do, and they just go for it. And at some point, we got to stop doing that. As the previous section was, when we chasing booty and all this, and I see a girl with a nice old booty, and I keep, hey, let me take you out. Let me take you out. I'm gonna take you out to this 5-star restaurant. She gonna go. She ain't interested in me, but she interested in everything I'm telling her because I ain't getting to know her. Because Butter was like, why don't y'all just admit y'all ain't into us? Well, what kind of conversations have you had? You should have knew that before y'all went out. Y'all should have been talking and engaging. But if you leading with your money, if you leading with what you can do for her, guess what? A lot of women gonna go ahead and get the best out of that. They ain't gotta like you. You keep talking about what you want to do for them. And some of them will let you do stuff for them because they don't owe you nothing. And because he was like, if you don't like a guy, you should just pay for the date. And I'm like, and this is where I want Chloe, because if I'll ask a woman to go out on a date, the date is the first date, in my opinion, is to see if we're gonna have a second date. But that's a chance for us to get together face to face. Because I know I've seen you. I know that we're visually attracted to each other. The date to see if is there anything more, because you can still be cute, but there's no connection. And he was like, if you ain't interested, you should just pay for your meal and let me know. And I'm like, dude, who are you dating that you keep having this same problem? Because I'm sure we've all been on a date with somebody that we found attractive, and when we had a chance to talk with them face to face, women love to say this. We talk ourselves out of stuff.
Y'all talk yourself out of pussy.
But fellas know too. Women will talk themselves out of some penis because they start doing crazy stuff.
Y'all will run y'all mouth too much. Y'all will just talk too much, and it becomes, you sitting at the table and you're like.
But this is why I wanted Chloe to come in and say why do women will go out with a guy because he talks too much. If he leaves with his money, if he always talking about he can afford this, he can afford that. A woman can't want to ride in my Ferrari unless I keep talking about my Ferrari. And guys do this. Oh, well, she just using me for this. Well, how she know it? One of the first things that we did, Chloe, and I'm gonna let you answer. Chloe had me one of her things, and we talked about my 401. And I ain't telling no woman about my 401 we dating. That's not her business. And some woman like, I want to know all that. If we dating, that ain't your business. Once we become a committed couple, yeah, you get to know more. But in a dating phase, we trying to see if we like each other. But Chloe, tell me some of your experiences about trying to date guys who either wanted to lead with their money and wanted you to fall for it, or thought that you was using them when they just, as you say, they talked themselves out of your life.
Well, first of all, now during my dope dealer days, if you led with your money, then that was fine with me. But now where I'm, as they say, dating with a purpose, for example, I did a podcast 3 weeks ago. And the podcast was basically 5 reasons why I swiped left on your profile. And one of the biggest turnoffs for me is whenever I look at a man's profile and he got pictures in front of his car, he got pictures in front of his house. He's doing everything possible to pull a woman in based on the material. Now, if you put yourself out there like that, trust and believe, I'm one of those people. I can say that women can be just as much dogs as we say men are. There are a lot of women out there that only go out with men just because they got money, because what you got, they just want to get a free meal, they're bored, but don't set yourself up for it. And a lot of men do. As soon as you get on the phone with them, they want to tell you what they got, where they live, what they work, what kind of this they got, what kind of that. You're selling yourself based on the material. So if that's not if you're really looking for a woman to want you for you, it's just like with the woman who turns her ass to the camera. Don't put it all out there out front if you want someone to want you for you. And if he's going out with these chicks, and why shouldn't she pay for the first? More than likely he's talking himself. He's probably talking himself out of the pussy. But if you want her
I want to know how you do that.
Just talking too damn fucking much. Just talking too fucking much. If we're sitting here, for example, guy that I was talking to a while back, he's a DeKalb County sergeant. I can never get a word in edgewise. It's like from the time that we get on the phone, he's just constantly talking. He asks me how my day is. I tell him how my day went. As soon as I ask him how his day went, we can be on the phone for 30 minutes, and I might have got maybe Darren, I'm tell you something. I can't do I can't do police officers no more.
Okay, too much talking. Tell me what's the wrong thing.
No, not
to
too
say.
much. They saying the wrong thing.
It's a lot of wrong things to say. If you can do a lot of talking, but really not have a good conversation. You know, if you're just constantly talking about yourself, you're constantly talking about what you got. Narcissistic behaviors is what will make me say, my daughter got a flat tire, I gotta go.
And this is one of the things that women love to talk about when they saying guys who talk themselves out and close talking about when they just having casual conversation. A lot of guys, we claim we listen to women, and women will tell you they don't listen. We'll ask you one question. I'll be like, "Hey, babe, how was your day?" When she get her sense off, I want to tell her, "Man, you know, my Ferrari got a flat tire. That flat tire cost me $250." And everything that they fussing about is their what you call it? They tangible things that involve money, and they keep leading with it. And Trent's like, they talk too much, because all we got to do, and I tell people, and I tell guys all the time, if you learn to shut up and listen and let her do most of the conversation, she gonna feel like you into her. But when you do all the talking, she is grading you, and every time you open your mouth with a personal subject, she downgrading you. But now when you keep talking about what you want to do and take out and show all these nice things, guess what? If Chloe ain't never been to a 5-star restaurant, but you still willing to take her out, guess what she gonna do? She gonna go to that 5-star restaurant because you keep offering it. Now, she already ain't paying you no attention, and at some point it's on us because we're dumb. Oh, she this, she that. Oh yeah, I gotta get that. And if you think you're gonna get it, that's on you. But too many times, like I said, when these women say, you know, loud, because there is no right thing. Each woman is different. But like me and Trina, we were talking about some guys who wanted to date her, and they start saying all they do is they love to talk about their money problem and tell you how, oh, it ain't no big deal though. Yeah, I had to spend $700 for this. I had to spend $5,000 for that. Most women, air quote, real women, grown women, don't want to hear that. They want to hear things about you, not about your possessions. They want you to ask questions about them. Oh, you know, you would look nice in a pretty gold necklace and some Tiffany earrings. You know, I love spoiling my women. Guess what? She eating it up because you ain't asking her nothing about her, but you telling her that you will give her gifts. And as she said, there are some professional women out there. They gonna get these gifts if you're willing to give them, but they only know about them because we keep talking about them. If we don't talk about them, if we ask more about them, they're gonna be more into the conversation. Remember we talked last week, a woman who likes a man will have sex for free. They don't need all this other stuff. But when you put yourself out there, like when women lead with their booty, they can't be mad at men who want sex. When a man lead with his money, you can't be mad when a woman wants your money because that's what you keep leading with. Is that pretty correct, Chloe?
Well, another thing that a man can do to definitely talk himself out of it is, and I don't know if you saw the post I made last week asking, you know, do black men hate us? One of the things that is common now is sitting down and having conversations with a man, and only thing you hear him talking about is his issues with women. You can't be trying to date me or get to know me, and I got to hear about your past relationships, everything that you went through with your past women, what they did, what's wrong with black women today, the things that you don't like. I'm going to tune out. And that's something that you can actually go on a date with the guy, and he will be sitting there and you're just listening to him just drag women. I don't want to hear that shit. It's a lot of men that do that. I don't want to hear that shit.
Is that the majority, or would you say?
Well, I never say one thing that I would never do. I would never say majority. I would never say all. I will say that it's becoming more common. It's becoming a lot more common than men realize. And some men do it so much that they don't see it as a problem. They see it as keeping it real.
Right. And as she said, and we should never say all or most, because if you run into that, and this is my issue with us in general, if you run into that problem on a regular basis, you need to look in the mirror to see what you're doing to either invite, but you keep gravitating toward it, because at that point it ain't them. You know, everybody gonna have one or two bad experiences with a deadbeat, but when you get to the point you got two handfuls of deadbeat relationships, you gotta look in the mirror. Why do I keep attracting these doggish men? Well, what is it you doing? You know, if I keep attracting these women who want to use me for my money, what am I doing? Because they can't spend my money unless they know I got it. I told a dude, why would I take a woman to a 5-star restaurant and then complain about the price? See, I need to date within my budget because, it's so insane that on a first date, and y'all know I'm clear about this, I ain't taking a woman to a 5-star restaurant because in theory, every date is supposed to be better than the last one. We're going to go somewhere we can talk and see if we vibe, see how we click and see how we people watch together. And then we can progress. But too many brothers trying to show out, oh yeah, I'm going to take her to the Ritz. I'm going to take her to whatever that is that circle around Atlanta. Why? I'm just trying to impress her. But then, say it again.
Nikolai's Roof or something, the Sundial.
The Sundial. I don't even know if it's open no more. But when we start doing all these things, we setting up unrealistic expectations because we don't know if we like each other. We know that we found each other visually attractive. So we setting ourselves up for failure, and women do the same thing. We just got different degrees of it. But how can you be real when you playing a game the whole time? Hey, look at some guys. Allow you excluded for this. But some of us won't let our hair grow. We won't let it go. We'll have patches everywhere. We'll have receding hairlines back to our ear, but we won't go bald because for the longest, bald was unattractive. Once we found out women love bald, brothers didn't mind going bald. But as Cole said,
they still spray because they spray now. They're doing the spray on.
Okay, that's a whole different level of dude.
Spray on. Now they're doing the Beijing shoe polish.
Right. But as Chloe said, she get a whole different type of guy talking to her when she wears weave. Because we'll claim that we like natural women until we see one, then we compare her to a non-natural woman.
But that's what you pursue. And that is a big issue that I have, is that you will say that you want one type, but you give positive reinforcement to a totally different type of woman.
Right, which begs a question: do we hate black women? And this is one of the things that Brian can talk about more with me, because
when I say hate, I'm not saying that you guys really hate us, but I am saying that the era of all black men are dogs is now the 2020-21 version of men constantly dragging women.
Right, and that's what we mean, and that's why I say Brian knows, because like I said, I've been on his page with stuff. No matter who it is, whether it's the Steve Harvey daughter or whoever it is, Sierra, when there's something that we can't have or something that's above common means, the first thing we want to do is try to drag them down. We did it with Kamala Harris. Now they're trying to do it with Laura Harvey. And anytime we see something we don't like, what men do, and women are guilty of this too, but I'm just talking about the men right now. We want to start dragging them and calling them names based on a certain situation, because now she dating guys, that means she having sex with everybody, when that ain't true. But to help our narrative, it's easier to say that every woman who goes on a date is having sex. So that helps our mindset. So now I can call Chloe a hoe because she went out with me, she went out with Brian, she went out with Lyle, she went out with Roy. But she ain't had sex with nobody. She just went on dates to see who she liked. But to help our narrative and try to bring her down, that's what we do. That's how we slick throw shade at people to try to break them down when they act like they too good for us. And black men are great at that because they hate it. They hate being the submissive part in the role. I mean, playing a submissive role, because we don't have as much control as we thought we had a lot of times. Go ahead, Chloe. I'm sorry.
Here's a contradiction in this. With the Lori Harveys and the Sierras. And I'm going to say black men because I only date black men.
Thumbs up for that.
Black men want women to be sexually free as long as they're the ones about to get the pussy.
And
but,
no one else.
Huh?
Well, it actually,
let me come right there because I'm on a live.
So what I see with us is once we get it, we don't care who gets it. We just don't want to be the next one after there's a dude that we know about who's had it.
Well, the thing is that in this day and age, with everything being, for example, and it's so funny because, I've had my own group, the Lemon Squeeze, Scandal, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We have...
to the show page, Random Thoughts.
We have... there's guys in our group that has fucked like 6, 7 different girls just in one group.
but then let a girl do it, let her fuck too, and she's a hoe. I don't understand that. And like I say, I don't understand where men will say that they want women to be sexually free, and I'm not going to judge you. And what's wrong with having sex on the first date if we're both feeling each other and all this other great stuff? But then you'll take someone like Lori Harvey and even Sierra. Sierra was in a relationship, long-term relationship with Bow Wow, with 50 Cent, with Future, with Stoudemire, and now she's with her husband. But I'm looking at posts that is saying we don't mind Russell dating, but why did he have to marry a hoe? How is she a hoe? And if she is a hoe, that man chose to marry and wife the hoe. Why does it bother you?
Jewelry Flowers, FaceTime. And I think that's a big part of our base insecurities, that
All
it's
that
easier to
judging.
call it's easier to call somebody a name than trying to act like we relate. Because, you know, I tell somebody, unless you a pervert, most of us who over 40 ain't dating no virgin. So everybody been with somebody else. So why is it that we want this stuff? Oh, they did that. Well, how do you know? Except for the ones who put out videos, we don't know what nobody doing. So, but we so quick to judge, and then we so quick, like I said, we want to bring them down so that we can fit. And this is my philosophy. We want them to be our equal, because we ain't shit. We want them to be ain't shit with us. Because as Chloe just said, and you know, there's a couple people, because I was in some of her groups, some of her people coming to my club, I didn't even know one of them was married until I had known him 5 years, because every week he in the club trying to pull women. I never knew he was married. But, you know, I'm listening to him be judgy about what people do, and I'm thinking, dude, I don't mind when a single dude is judgy, but a married man who cheating, you can't judge nobody, bro. You the bottom of the barrel. But you know, when we're doing this, why do we feel the need to slick shine, especially women? Because you know, we'll say this, oh nah, I want my woman to do this. We want her to do things. She had to learn somewhere. Ain't a whole lot of women learn a bunch of new tricks at 45 and 50. You know, send all the brothers before you a card, a thank you card for teaching her a good lesson that you enjoyed. But we're so insecure, even when it comes to women who cheat. And you know, it's fun. We was having this conversation. The first thing all men say to her, why you can't take a one back who cheat? Because we envision some man blowing her back out, and then we start having short penis syndrome. We don't want to compete after that no more, because that's where our mind is for a lot of us. So it's easier to degrade her and call her names, as opposed to saying, well, what if he was bigger than me and blowing her back out and I can't ever satisfy her no more? Well, that's your own insecurity. That incident brought it to light. And it's easier to dog Chloe. It's easier to dog Laura Harvey. It's easier to dog Trina than to try to come to grips with my reality is that I'm insecure and I need to fix that. And that's what we do, because why? We want to be hunters. We want to be the leaders. We want women to submit, but we want to be crybabies.
My thing is this: is that a lot of times the very men who, you know, drag Lori Harvey, drag, you know, Sierra, but you got a couple of sisters and brothers who have different daddies than you, or your child is away at college busting it open for the whole football team. Your sister has 3 different baby daddies. So is your sister a hoe too? Or just someone that you don't know who you want to judge and you want to comment on? As a man, if you don't fuck 10 different women, are you not a hoe too? What's the only difference between Lori Harvey and Sierra is that their life is on stage. There's a lot of people that I see judging, making comments, females too. And I'm like, I know you done fuck 5 different dudes in the group in the last 3 years. So what does that say about you?
Because we got a floating definition that we use. Oh, if it's me doing it, I'm sowing my wild oats, but she a hoe. Because like I say, it's easy.
Pointing the finger.
It's easier for try to degrade other people to help validate ourselves. And we got so many base insecurities. Remember I talked about last week. That's why when you see guys on women's pages, guys love to go in on women, but if a man come in and say something to them, they'll continue going in at the woman. They won't say nothing to the man still, because they don't want to have.
They will not. I ask all the time, brothers, why won't you address your brethren? You will go in on a woman, but you will not address your brethren. That man code bullshit.
We get simp if we do.
Huh?
We get this new term simp.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I'm because Russell Wilson is a simp.
Right.
That's right. That's a new henpeck version. Okay. So basically, you're a pussy. They were not gonna call you a pussy. They're just gonna call you a simp.
But that's where they're trying to control your relationship. You know, it's certain things that I would do for Trina. Does that make me a simp? Yeah, because that's what husbands are supposed to be. We're supposed to have each other. So if simp is what you want to call it, because I'm secure enough to announce my love for her, to show my love for her. Oh, you can't let these women know you care. You gotta treat them. No, dude, that's you. You keep dating thoughts. So that thought works with that thought process. But when you upgrade yourself, you come to a whole new world, and that's why. Fellas, that's why women won't submit to us. We give them no sense of security. We give them no sense of security. So guess what? We can't get mad when they like white boys. We can't get mad when they go to women, because we sit there and I can't wait for her to make a mistake so I can tell her she ain't shit. That way I can push my dominance over her. And then when she leave, I'm sure Chloe, Trina didn't want to come on camera, but Chloe, I don't want to get deep into your business, but how many guys who tried to shame you have tried to come back? And just in general, because they realize that they miss you.
I don't play that shame shit. I don't know what the fuck they done said behind my back, but nobody would never say anything crazy sideways to me to my face.
But they want to come back after they make a mistake, and they she did shit. Hey, it's a growing process, but this whole shit, this simp shit, we get so caught up in that, you a simp for doing what? For doing shit for my wife or even my fiance. If I'm doing something for the woman who I'm finna plan a long-term relationship with, how am I simping? But you complaining about paying for a date. So who's simping? Because that's a simple-minded concept, and you mad because women gravitate toward me, but I ain't violating no man code. I'm just saying, if you're gonna be a man, be a man. Stop being a male with balls and thinking it entitles you to man shit. Because what do I always tell women? Stop calling dudes men so quick. Make them earn that title. If you're gonna submit to him, make him earn it. A man, a grown ass man, will appreciate earning your submission, earning your respect. I can't walk in the door demanding respect just because I got a beard and a penis. That's the dumbest shit we got going. But that's what we want more than anything. I'm a man. Oh, and my second favorite phrase, y'all hear this, I'm an alpha male. Well, I want you to look at the lion shit, because that's what y'all keep comparing yourself. You don't never see the lion walk in and say, hey, I'm in charge. He got to go fight and prove it. Don't no lion get to walk in and say I'm in charge. When another lion pop up, they go at it. All this keyboard shit and calling other people names. And you know what? Women sit back and look at that. Because when a woman hit that maturation stage, she don't want a guy who doing all this petty fighting and name calling, and he feel the need to call himself an alpha male.
I hate that. I hate that the same as let a man be a man. I don't have to let you be a man. You are a man. And that alpha male, if you got to announce who you are, then that means that evidently you're not too sure about who you are.
Right. And most of them don't want to put in the work for it. They just they feel like it's a birthright. We entitled to it because we got the facial hair and the penis. That means you should just bow down whenever I walk into the room. Acknowledge the fact that your king is here. And it messes up the whole process. And then when somebody try to correct them on it, I seen Brian do it. Lyle is a whole lot less controversial until he come on the show. But when they get called out by another man, as I said, we can call somebody out, and guess what they're gonna do? If we on Chloe page and somebody call Chloe a name and we call him out, he gonna act like he didn't even see our comment, and we tagged him. He gonna go right back at Chloe. We're gonna tag him again. He gonna go right back at Chloe. He don't even want to deal with us because he don't want that smoke. And that's why I say, yeah, there's a lot of dudes who are so insecure that they hate women to the core. They looking for that needy chick to help boost their ego, and that's all they want. We talked about Trina got a strong will. Trina got a mouth sometimes. That don't bother me. I need that but some men don't want a woman who gonna stand up, who can support them when they need it, because I don't care how strong I am. There gonna be days when I just don't have the energy on weak. So you need somebody who can stand up and take over when you need to. You need somebody who got that that clo guy who will tell you to sit your ass down because you're doing something wrong. But most of us don't want that. I'm a man. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Don't correct me. You just supposed to follow me, even if I'm taking us to hell. And here's the cop portion. When I was a cop, I can remember how many evictions that we had to do with people because the man was so prideful that he never let them know. He never let his woman know that he was falling behind on bills. But now you want the same woman to follow you into homelessness. That would make her stupid. Well, baby, I love you so much, I'm willing to be homeless with you. How many women you know said that, Chloe?
The face says it all.
Well, let me say this, DVP. I personally would prefer a man who knows how to tell me, all right, woman, that's enough. Go sit it down. I get tired.
Right.
I get tired of being strong. But
right.
But in order for me to relinquish, because I was a single mother, I raised my daughter, I've always taken care of me and mine. So for me to be able to relinquish that type of power to you, you got to show me that you actually want that power, because a lot of men want you to give them that power, but they don't want the responsibility that comes with it.
Right. We don't want to earn it. And that's the thing. That grown man ain't gonna mind earning it. He knows that's what he's supposed to do. There's a process to getting to this. There's a process. But most of us don't want to earn it. We just want somebody to give it to us with all our fair relationships, with all our bankruptcies, with all our living in our Lexus LS 400, because we got a nice car, but we still living in a 2-bedroom apartment. We want all this stuff given to us. Oh, she won't do this. She won't support me. And Trina can support me because I got something. But if I want to be the king of the hill, if I want to be the one she submit to, I need to have something before she get to me, and we can make my something better. But if I ain't got shit, why would I try to get a woman to help me get somewhere unless it's somewhere bigger?
I'm 50
if
years
it's somewhere
old.
better.
I'm fresh out of working with a nigga. I'm sorry. I'm 50 years old. I am fresh out of it. You ain't got to have exactly what I have. You don't have to make what I make, but you got to have something. I'm so
Right.
tired of 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 some men feeling like black women owe them something. What if he a good dude? So what if he ain't got a car? What if he going through hard times? When I can only speak for me, when I'm going through hard times, my pussy don't even get wet. So therefore, I can't date. I can't date. So why do I have to be the one who, because I met you and you're a good guy and you don't have a car and you're living, with your auntie, I can't see your potential. If you only thing you got is 2 trash bags full of clothes, an Xbox, a pair of J's, and some Timberlands, no, you cannot date me. Get back with me, because your focus needs to be getting up out of that hole, not getting in my drawers so you can move into my house.
Right.
You can't lead me like that. We all go through hard times. I've been through hard times. But you got to be trying to get up out that hole instead of looking for me to pull you up. I'm 50 years old. I'm fresh out of work with a nigga mentality. I don't work with, I've been that ride or die. I'm not dying.
And what I tell you about that ride or die chick, any chick when I was dating who told me she was that, if you're gonna let me die, I don't want you with me. I want a chick who can say, hey, what you're thinking is stupid. Come in the bed and get some and take your ass to sleep. That ride or die, I understand the mentality, but as soon as you saying you willing to let me die just to support me,
we got to stop teaching our daughters to be. We got to stop teaching our daughters to be ride or dies, and we got to stop showing our daughters that we are ride or dies. I've been a ride or die, and I would, let me say this, Brian. I will ride with you if I'm with you and I know what you are and what you're made of.
All right.
Meeting you from the door, no sir. I don't carry plenty of dudes that I've been with who have gone down and then helped them get back up. I don't have a problem with that. I paid all the damn bills. He drove my car, took me to work while he was looking for jobs. All that shit, took care of him and his 2 brothers and my child for 6 months. I didn't have a problem with that because I knew what he was before he went down. But just picking your ass up and you in that situation, I can't do that.
And I think, like I say, Brian, I need you, bro. Don't let Chloe intimidate you, bro. You hold on.
He is hardly not intimidated by me.
See, what his name is Miles
Don't
Chaos.
DVP, don't do that man like that.
Well, cause I'm trying to get Trina, but Trina don't want to come on the camera. But I mean, go ahead.
Tell Trina, I say, hey girl, hey.
Don't you see this as just a conversation, Chloe? For me, it's a conversation. No intimidation, right?
Right.
Oh, but I'm gonna talk trash.
Right, that's DVP.
I'm gonna talk
Chloe's
trash.
over here breaking it down from
Stop trying to stir the pot.
It's too late. It's too late. That's what we do.
Right, but okay, so let me ask you a question because you all basically said that there's no okay, so the ride or die portion, the die portion is the deal breaker. Like you shouldn't be willing to go that far just to be with someone. So okay, with that in mind, there's a lot of people who really don't know who they are until they get married. A lot of people say that all the time who get married. Oh, I didn't know this was happening, this was possible. Okay. So how do you take a vow with someone if that's forever or worst? But then at the end of the day, there's this philosophy that you know, the whole I'm not going to die portion with you. So how does that how do you even put that into place if you are serious about your vows?
Darren, he's talking to you, baby.
And again, it's like I said, when we get to the portion, what did Chloe say, and we've had this conversation before, I have not met a grown woman who didn't want to be checked because sometimes they know they cross a line, but they want to be checked like an adult woman. She don't want to be little, and men are the same way. Sometimes when we're out of pocket, we need somebody who can check us and say, baby, come here, sit down, shut up, get this and go to sleep. It's a process on how we do it.
Don't say that though.
But
you ain't answer this man's question. You over here all the way over here talking about.
Okay, ask the question.
You want to know how is it that once you get to the point of being married, that you know, you said I'm gonna ride with you, but I'm not gonna die with you.
You had that conversation before marriage. Remember we talked about the different conversations? It's just like having that exclusive conversation. You don't be exclusive by yourself. That's something that has to be spoken. So as we're planning this marriage and we got to know what we're doing together, this is who I am. This is what I am going to do. When you see me faltering from this line, you need to tap me on my shoulder. So these are conversations when we talk about having honest conversations, honest communication that a lot of people don't have. We assume that our partner know what we want because we never speak on it. And this is where you got to say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I want. When we're here, this is what we need to do. Yada, yada, yada. It's like you don't get married and have the curfew conversation. While you're dating, you should know what's an acceptable time to have your ass back home. But everybody don't agree on that. But that's a conversation that needs to be had before it happens. Hey, let's just run through these scenarios. But too many times we don't talk because we're looking for instant gratification. We're looking for love. And we say we'll sacrifice for it till time come to sacrifice. Then we realize we're in a bad place because we never spoke on it. Well, I thought you was going to do this. Well, why? We never talked about it. Well, why you didn't say nothing? You didn't say nothing. So we back at a point which is why marriages are failing. Nobody talks anymore. We text, we go out, we have sex, we Netflix and chill, but we never just have real conversations. Hey, are the bills okay? Are we doing this? What are we sharing? If you need something, let me know. How many men have been so proud that they wouldn't tell the woman they was losing something because they didn't want to lose her respect? Because I love you so much, but I won't tell you when I'm falling behind because I don't want you to look at me differently. And most women, as Chloe said, if you already got something, when you start to losing, she knows your potential. She can help you bring it up. She just ain't trying to pull you up out the gutter. But if you start up here and you start falling, she can catch you. But if you don't let her know, by the time you hit the gutter, she got an attitude now. So that's just a conversation that we have to have. It's mandatory that we have these conversations before it get to the point of no return. Did that answer your question, Brian? I can't believe she on my show trying to get me in trouble.
What I do?
Oh yeah. So yeah, but you know.
Yeah, it answered the question, but when I keep hearing people who are married basically say, "Oh, she changed, he changed, he stopped doing this, she stopped doing that," and that would have been something that because I'm looking at the comments, a lot of people also saying, "Well, these are things that you discovered during the dating phase." Well, maybe not. Maybe some people they do switch. Because I think that some of us are capable of being able to see qualities in people. instead of what they tell you. Because I think that's what a lot of people rest on. Oh, why he didn't tell me this, she didn't tell me that. Did you see the shit in the people? Like people got red flags and shit if you pay attention. So a lot of that is like when certain people get into these predicaments, they understand that damn that if I took a vow because I'm serious about my vows, then I am more serious about the red flag at this point, right? Because the red flag, we can pray that away. We can take that to Jesus, and it can be healed. But you know, at the end of the day, there are certain things that I think that I think that if you're going to be a ride or die, that has to be consistent, and it can't be situational.
Well, and you said something, and I've learned to change my terminology because I ain't sure whose page I saw it on, but there are red flags and then there are stop signs. We got to learn the difference. When there's a stop sign, that means ain't no going no for. When there's a red flag, there's some things that you can work on depending on what the red flag is for. Because as we grow older, as we do more experiences, everybody's going to change. Nobody is the same as they were 3 months ago. When you're in a relationship with somebody, there's going to be change just because you change your whole lifestyle. You're going to learn to, we're all going to change somewhere. Sometimes that change that happens after the relationship, that's a whole different change. And sometimes that's where we grow apart. Because as we start growing, somebody can end up wanting more than the other one. And the other one don't want to come up. That's a whole different scenario. But we have to learn to at least speak. And we got to learn to at least, when we talked about it in the beginning, some people claim they want, oh, I want the truth all the time. They don't want the truth. They want their truth. Not your truth, not the truth. They want their truth. I want you to always say, I want Trina to always say, I'm the greatest person she ever had in her life. Whole man want her to say he's the greatest. But if they ain't what she feel, hey, why are you worried about yesterday? Right now, you who I want to be with, let's just go from here. Because hell, we've been dating 3-4 years, but before I knew somebody fucking 20 years. So they the greatest right now, but you can pass them. Let's just give it time. We compare ourselves to crazy stuff and we get caught in that ego stroke as opposed to just progressing. Let's do us together. And remember I said this, most of the time the person we had the best sex with was a little crazy and they're exes. Don't keep trying to compare yourself to that. There's a reason, because crazy people are great at sex because they ain't got nothing else to do. Kind of like as women love to say, homeless dudes, they the best in the bed because they ain't got shit else to do. They ain't wasting no energy, but they're exes. But why do people worry about who was the best ever? It's an ex. So why do you want to be an ex? Well, do this, and then you can be the best ever, and I can get rid of your ass too. And you know, and I thought it was funny because most of the time, the best is an ex. Now, when we start talking, as we get into the spiritual connection and love making, then that can be the one you're with now. But if we just comparing sex as a physical act, and we got to separate the two, because we can't keep mixing all these together and trying to make them all be the same. Me and Trina talk about this whole best friend. I married my best friend. Me and Trina been on each other roughly 4 years. We've been together 4 years. We cool as fans. Can I say she my best friend after 4 years? I can't. She ain't put the time in. We ain't did no criminal behavior type of stuff.
You said y'all was last year.
No, I said we are great friends. And I stick to it. But as time goes on, the more time we spend together, the more she's elevating herself to that. But you can't be my best friend in a year. I ain't never got a best friend in a year. But we say those things so casually and cavalierly that everybody believes it because we want them to live their truth. I'm cool with not being her best friend. I want to be a good friend. And then we can work to that. Go ahead,
Well, let me say this. Me personally, I've never been married. And up until I was in my late 30s, I never wanted to get married because of what I went through with, my mom and my dad. You and Trina, that's you and Trina. Me personally, he has to be my best friend before I can marry him. Because if I'm going to marry you, I have to be able to talk to you about shit I can't even talk to my best friend Monica about. Once I marry you, you jump in front of her. And I feel like me personally, observing from the outside, looking in, one of the issues I have with a lot of married people is that they won't admit it. Number one, communication. People think they're great communicators and they're really not. But I see it all the time where your wife, your husband can come to you and tell you something or express how they feel about something or convey something to you, and you can't hear them because it's the person that's closest to you that you sleep with. But you can go and you can have that same conversation with someone outside your marriage, and they will say the exact same thing that your wife or your husband said, and all of a sudden you get it. That's because too often we value other people outside the marriage opinions more so than we do our own. If I said that this is the person I love and I want to spend the rest of my life with, no one outside of the marriage should be able to tell me something that you've already told me, and I certainly, voila, understand.
Do you think it's because the other person said it differently? I think a lot of times
Not
that
all the time. Sometimes I see it too often where it's just, I don't know. It when I say it drops me bananas.
because it's not the desired result.
I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
just for the simple fact that she said it or he said it, you don't want to receive it.
I don't think that's how it is sometimes. I think that people,
You know, look, even in relationships, not just marriage, but even in
especially
relationships.
relationships, because they're in a space it's a lot of noise. Every time I see you, it's a trigger. So in order for me to go into a space where that doesn't happen, I'm that space is now available for me to receive a different perspective, because I do it all the time, and I just think it's just how people are wired, because that's what I do professionally. I could say something to a motherfucker 35,000 times. You can go right across the hall, somebody say the exact same thing. Ooh, that's just how people are. I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah, we talk about
but I see it more and more in marriages and relationships. It used to be a time when truly your spouse mattered. Now it's like, I don't know. It's like we just have too much outside noise that we allow into, whether it's social media, you know, friendships, relationships. It's just we just, I don't know, we shut down to the, and this is the person that you lay down with every night. This is the person you pay bills with. This is the person that takes care of you whenever you're sick. That person, it's like we don't have a sense of care. We love you, but we don't necessarily always show that we care about that you matter.
I think that it's just a small piece. I hear what you're saying, and I'm sure it's a lot of couples and things like that. And we want to. I feel what you're saying about best friend. Darren said maybe after a little time, it got to be best friend. But I understand what you're saying about going into the relationship. You want the thought process that this is your best friend and that you can talk to them about anything. But just as people and as we are married, but we are individuals, we do have those small insecurities or those small things going on. And because in relationships, we got some friction, that's what opens up the door to that friend or us to be able to talk to that friend a little bit. And it could be guys on guys. Not that you go talking to another woman more than you talk to your woman, but just guys on guys. And as we say, that safe space. You know, when you're in a relationship, and I was married for 27 years, so I know about marriage and I got married when I was like 23. So I mean that could seem younger, but we did a lot in those years. But the person that you're supposed to be closest to, and that person that you see all the time, sometimes is the one that you butt heads with the most. So that whole communication thing that we talk about is so big. And when you can, I think this is what is honest communication. The hey babe, you know, we having this thing. What is the one thing that men hate to hear? Baby, we need to talk. Right, right, fucking right. Because we know there's some shit going down and da 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 da. So already it's the tension. How do I deflect? How do I run? How do I move? So in communication, and all you guys who do it know it's 50% of the communicator and it's 50% of the person receiving it. So when we go into our spouse with whatever, or we're trying to hear whatever, we got to be way open, way beyond the surface of what we would regularly hear. Okay, babe, I got this information I need to tell you, da 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 da. Or, babe, some really I need to talk to you about. don't know how I want to go about this, da da da. And then maybe they're more apt to listen or to make it a better field for you to unleash your thoughts, to unleash your deepest things. And it all goes back to that. It is right. Communication is big, and there's so many forms of it. And we got to set that stage. I want to say that, men don't listen. We don't do enough. But if women take a little bit more time setting that stage, because when you come to us, we got to talk. We already thinking, we already detracted. So if you say, no, baby, it's not like this. This shit is important, but I'm not trying to come at you like this. This is something we really need to work out and we really need to work through. Those two things, I think, would make the conversation and relationships a whole lot better.
And here is something that I learned, because as honest as me and Trina can be, there are times when our communication sucks. And one of the things that we had to learn to do was, and Close said it, I mean, we're great friends. I can't say we're best friends yet, but we had to learn when to listen as a friend and not as a lover. You got to learn to make that distinction when you got a friend who's your lover, because as a lover, you're trying to fix every single problem. And sometimes you got to get out of that. Sometimes women just need to vent. I learned sometimes men need to vent. We don't need nothing fixed. We just need to get something out of our system. When we learn to listen as friends, and I always talk about, we need to learn to listen to hear, not to respond, because too many times, soon somebody say something, we waiting to say something. So we missing the message because we trying to remember what we talking about. But there's a time when doing this whole honest conversation, Trina, listen, this is Darren, your friend, talking to you. So I just need you to listen. I don't need for you to fix shit. Just let me vent about what's going on. And I had to learn that, because sometimes she would be talking to me and I was ignoring her because I'm focused on the problem. How can I fix this problem when it wasn't a problem to be fixed other than letting it out? And that's why I said, and Chloe said, having a friend is mucho important. It's very important, because for Chloe's man to pass Monica, who is Chloe's best friend, see, she can say whatever she wants to Monica. And I talk about this with your best friend. Your best friends don't judge you. Y'all might not speak for 2 or 3 days, but when you see them pop up on your call ID, you're going to still answer the phone. As lovers, we miss that because we're stubborn now. She trying to hurt my feeling. Chloe can tell Monica she got a booger on her nose. Monica just gonna wipe it out and say how it look. But if she tell me that while we out in public, I'm gonna be like, why you say that in front of people? Because I'm not taking it as a friend. I'm taking it as a lover, and we ain't learned how to properly mesh that homie lover friend into one successful relationship, because we're too sensitive. Best friends ain't sensitive. We all know this. You can say whatever you want to. You tell your best friend you're thinking about robbing a bank. Depending on who your best friend is, they either gonna get a notepad out, they may call somebody else, they gonna say, girl, what you doing? But that's what we got to do when we start getting into these relationships, as opposed to, because whenever I hear people, oh yeah, I love them. And Trina used to always say, she said, I love you, but I don't like you today. And we got to understand that liking part, because that's what we got to do better at, because the love will be there. But is it any one of us who can say that we don't love somebody who ain't no longer a part of our life because we never liked them enough to keep them around? And when we get into this serious relationship, we got to learn to like somebody eternally through all that crazy shit, and learn, when I first started, I had a rule about, everybody say, oh, you should never go to bed mad. Well, sometimes women need to sleep it off. If you make them stay woke to try to fix something, you only gonna make it worse. And men are the same way. Sometimes you just need a good night's sleep,
right,
and start fresh. Because if we both going at it that night, all we doing is we just nag and we just keep scratching at each other. It ain't gonna go to sleep.
You better leave me alone. I'm Scorpio. You better leave me the hell alone.
Right.
I'm Scorpio too.
So
you got 3 Scorpios on the panel.
Write that down. We ain't gonna let this happen again.
And if I say I don't want to talk about it, don't keep poking. Leave me alone. It's better for me to come back whenever my mouth is not ready.
Right. And even like when I want to have a serious conversation with Trina, the first thing I do is ask her, hey, what kind of mood you in? Because I need to know, because sometimes we run up on the wrong situation when they already in a bad mood. And because we're lovers, we think that they should always be concerned about our feelings. And sometimes they got shit going on, but we're so selfish, we don't care. And as Trina said, it seems like when we get in a relationship, our sensitivity level rises as opposed to decreasing. Trina know, and me and Trina had some knockdown, drag out fight. But Trina know if something happened, I'ma still be there for her. And we talk about this, we laugh about it. Trina could have a flat tire. I'm gonna go change that tire, but when we come home, I still don't want her to speak to me because I'm still mad at you. But I ain't gonna let you be stuck on the side of the road while I'm mad at you. That shit just ain't gonna happen. But once you back home and you safe, the attitude come back up, and we'll get to this tomorrow. But that's one of the things that you have to learn as a couple, that it's okay. It's okay. It's truly okay to be upset. Here, our grandparents didn't always go to sleep having the thing figured out, because some of us heard them arguing at night. They just thought we were asleep. And we gotta learn to understand that portion, because being a friend is mutual important. It's mutual important. And we overlook that because we think love conquers all, and love don't conquer all. Love don't pay bills. Love don't fix problems. It don't do none of that shit. It just make you crazier. And like I said, that's just, Chloe, what you think about that? You the guest of honor.
What?
I got a question, since we got these Scorpios on though, with that last portion of the topic. Somebody actually put a comment in, and I saw the word communication. And so I had my ex-girlfriend. She was one of these people who, if she was upset about something, she literally would go weeks before she was ready to talk about it.
Was she a Cancer?
Whoa,
No.
slow your roll, shot. You will get put off the show for that.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying you will get put off the show for talking about Cancer.
You know I don't give a damn about you putting me off the show. You just gonna add me back on?
What that block button at? God damn. What that block button at?
Hold on, wait. Let me get to my point though. Let me get to the point. Let me get to the point. Now, me, I'm the total opposite. I'm one of those people who wants to get this discussion dealt with as soon as possible. So when we started dating, and because we were in a serious relationship, it's the only relationship I've actually been in since my marriage. And I told her, I said, well, listen, you know that doesn't work for me. So we had to come to a compromise. And one of the things I said to her is, I'm like, you got 72 hours. That's it. After 72 hours, we need to have this discussion.
That's fair.
Because see, and I wanted to get y'all, because see, I was that person, and you get to that point, I'm like, hey, after 3 days, damn it, I really done damn near forgot about it.
Let's compromise.
And I'm moving on. So what is it, for people who feel like that, what is it that you're doing that it takes you long? Like, personally, I say 48. You shouldn't need to go no more than 48 hours without having a conversation about something, especially if it's something, no, seriously. I see Brian laughing, but I'm like, dude, if this is something real serious in a relationship, we can't, because that festers. Some people, when you're angry, y'all have to realize, well, some people, when you don't discuss and get stuff out, that festers. And that makes shit mad. That makes it worse. So go ahead. I need to hear y'all comment on that.
Go ahead, Brian, your turn.
It's festering because, for me, I'm trying to say something to you in a way that you would get what I'm saying, and for you to not incriminate me because I'm about to say something that's really gonna fuck you up. Because as Scorpios, we can be very lethal, especially the good ones. I'm not talking about the ones in training. I'm talking about the ones that lean more towards the Sagittarius. I'm saying the real ones.
Ones with blonde hair.
We know how to do. I'm just telling you. I know I can be real greasy. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like to just I'd like to be calm and have everything sort of just laid out so I can be clear about where I'm coming from. Because when I finish saying what I have to say, for me, there's nothing else to say, right? So for me, I just lay it all out, and it takes me that long because for me, last time I had that conversation, I said, give me 7 days. And see me, I like to go into a retreat. You know what I'm saying? I'll be out all times of the night, or just kind of just really just doing my thing, just wilding. I'll say that in an innocent way, but because I know me, and I know about a week, depending on the severity of it, and if it's severe, it's a week. I'm gonna come back to you, and you and I will have a come to Jesus meeting. That's it.
And that's so important because and Trina said, and you just said it, too many times we give timelines and everybody don't process at the same speed, and there's life that's still going on. So you may tell me 72 hours, but if I got some shit going on at work where I got a project I got to finish, hey, that mortgage is kind of due. I love this relationship, but I want to pay rent more. uh and we can't say what it is, but we can say is we can just, hey, like I say, me and Trina had, well, I ain't gonna tell that lie, but we probably went 2 or 3 days without talking before. But I wasn't staying out late. She wasn't staying out late. Wasn't none of that going on. We just wasn't speaking to each other in the house because we both were attitudinal. But guess what? It didn't change the fact that she was my queen, and I wasn't gonna let nobody else talk shit to her other than me. When she talked shit to me, because we done had a couple of knockdown, drag out arguments, which is why I can say we much better friends. Because I didn't take him as a lover. I took him as a friend who had an attitude, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let her ass cool off, so I'm gonna have to super glue her to this front door and stick out in the cold, because that's what I do. So we get that, and then you got to go forward from there. But you gotta give that latitude for people and not try to judge them on the standard that you use. I get over shit pretty quickly because I'm processing a whole lot faster. But I was out more. Trina home, she doing her thing. She may not process as quick as me, and we can't keep doing that same thing. And once you find these little glitches, that's when you correct them on the spot. Once we have our first argument, we see how we processing. Okay, this is what we need to do. So me and Trina even got some code words for when we at a certain place, so that she can say them, and I know to back off. So I ain't pushing, which is why we ask, hey, how you feeling? As Lyle said, we hate that we need to talk conversation, but they kind of important. And sometimes you need to get everybody in the right frame of mind. Because a couple of times she been in serious mode, but I was playful because I didn't know that she was coming in a serious mode, and my playfulness kind of upset her more because I was in a shit. I'm in a great ass mood. I just won some shit. I want to talk about that, but she got a problem. So there are times we need to test the water and put out the correct temperature before we start a conversation so that it's acceptable to everybody. I tell you, we get in the tub, we take a bath, we drink, we that's when we can let everything out. We just sitting there, we naked, we exposed, as they say. And if we got a problem, that's the best time to talk about it. Ain't nobody finna just jump about it too, because if you slip and fall, I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna get you a little band-aid, but I'm gonna laugh. But you got to figure out how to get that time in where y'all can just talk freely. And is everything good? Is anything going wrong? What we need to talk about? Hell, even if you write it down and read it so that it's unemotional, because as everybody has said, sometimes the words come out wrong. So here, this is an issue. Stop making a. Hey, ain't a. Anyway, I'm trying to ignore Trina.
Let me say, because Trina said that Scorpios are unforgiving. I am one of the most.
I know you now.
Oh.
No, you know me, but you don't know me. I am one of the most forgiving people. I forgive to a fault at times. As I've matured, I've gotten older. Certain things about me has changed.
Mm-hmm. You're less forgiving now.
No, I'm more forgiving.
Really?
I'm one of the type of people that sometimes I forgive too easily. And that's one of the reasons whenever I'm angry, give me time to process it, because I'm the type of person that I have to check and make sure I'm not tripping, because I am very passionate. And so I've learned to be the type of, and it's taken counseling, trust and believe, it's taken years of counseling, because I have gone to counseling, to learn that us Scorpios are very passionate. And if I don't take control of it, it's going to take control of me, to the point where, in my younger years, I strike.
Right.
I mean, physically, like fight. I've had my share of fights with men that I've been in relationships with, and I was the one who, because that's how I was raised. That's the environment I was raised in. So it's taken me a while to get to where I am. So one thing, communication is huge. So when you're in a relationship, once you decide to get into a relationship with somebody, something that's really big with me is that I really do believe in sitting down and laying out certain ground rules whenever it comes to communicating, whenever it comes to, like, look, whenever I get upset, It's nothing personal, but I really do. If I tell you, if I get to the point, Darren knows this about me. If you keep popping off, we going back and forth. Whenever I hit you with that okay, that means leave me the hell alone. Because you're going to keep popping off and I hit you with that okay twice. That's your final warning. That you keep going, I'm just going to let loose. So but at the same time, I can't stay mad. Cinnamon said that, I can't stay mad for long. I mean, even if I'm mad with you with my dude, when we get into bed, I'm still gonna put my booty on you. I'm mad at you, but I'm still gonna put my booty on you. I'm still gonna throw my leg across you because as a Scorpio, I'm very affectionate.
You hear that, Trina? Okay.
Right. You don't play pussy politics. I like that.
Yeah.
Just because I'm mad, then that doesn't mean. But I heard a couple of things in you that were good. You come to your space. You said, but let me check myself. I am always in awe of women who do that, and that shows maturity. I don't care how old you are, but when you can check yourself, because we're all a lot of times. I hear this too much, but emotional, like insecure. I hear too much. But we are emotional creatures, right? And if you can say that and you know that, and I see that everything in this comes, I believe, over time in relationship and maturity, but you preface things. The conversation which you just had about popping off later, it's like, man, I'm talking to you, I'm laying it out on the line, so you see these signs, so you know what's happening. The shit is when it pops off and you have no way of knowing, and different things like that, So I see that shows growth and maturity. And as we talk about being counseled with other people or having therapists or whatever, a lot of us don't do that. And that's why we fucked up now. But sometimes having that listening ear and that extra ear is amazing. But when a strong woman can step back and say, that I'm listening, I'm hearing you, and at this calm tone, we try to lay out some things. That's the best thing, because listen, here's the thing. When you said that 1, the 2, and the 3, we still over here with our chest stuck out. All right, don't get to that 3. You better not get to that. You know what I'm saying? And then the conflict comes when you really try to warn them, but yeah, you shouldn't told me you 1 and 2, that kind of shit. So communication, I go back to that, is like everything. And I think that your state has come with some maturity and with experiences. Like we said, it ain't got to be age, but it's experiences and life experiences that we go through, and you learn a lot. So I enjoyed it.
All right, y'all done got me in trouble. I got a note from our sponsors. I enjoyed this. We're gonna have to do this again now that I know Chloe got more free time. So what I want everybody to do, we're gonna do this gentleman style because we are old school gentlemen. Chloe, tell them who you are, how to find you, and what you got going on.
Okay, well, my name is Chloe Barksdale. I do have a podcast called I Am Chloe Barksdale. It should be on all streaming channels. I am a writer. I am coming out with a series of eroticas that should start hitting in June. Facebook, I am Chloe Barksdale. Twitter, Chloe Barksdale. YouTube.
You Barksdale from Chicago?
My Barksdales is from Sparta, Georgia, but we're all over the place. We have them everywhere. I'm constantly adding cousins on Facebook. Yeah, but usually if you look for Chloe Barksdale, if it's a little blonde, bald-headed chick, then it's me.
Yeah. I can't hear when I got this on.
Good.
All right, Mindless Chaos, tell me what you got going.
Mindless Chaos. What's up, people? Flying Reveals. Flying Reveals show starts on YouTube March 21st, also streaming on Facebook. So check me out. I really appreciate being with y'all here tonight. Y'all are, just a great dynamic group to be with and spend my Wednesday evening with. So shout out to the panel. Shout out to the panel.
Mr. 976, what you got coming up?
What up, y'all? Makeup and more, Mr. 976. I'm going to be back at the Mac Counter, ladies. I'm going to be at the perimeter location.
Wait a minute, hold on for a minute. Hold on. You ever been at Stonecrest?
Back in the day, but Al and them are my boys. South Lake is where I started.
Your face looks familiar, and I think I have seen you at the Mac counter for real.
You have. You probably have. I did
yeah.
South Lake for many years. I do all the Mac events at Lennox and all that. But I'm coming back. My girl at Perimeter Store just booked me for I'm there every weekend in March, either Saturday or Saturday and Sunday. So y'all can check me out. We always try to do something cool on the Random Thought Show, doing a little facial while I'm doing it. I'm at the home location now. Next week I'll probably be at the salon whipping up some makeup. But makeup and more. More is always with 2 O's like my last name. And my number, call me. You need an appointment, call me. 770-310-3918.
I don't know who he thought were writing that fast, but hey, as a matter of fact, Chloe, I might reach out to some of you. We're gonna do a couple of giveaways for some makeovers. So I may reach out to you to help me with that since you got some free time. And y'all, I'm sorry, go ahead, Roy, do your thing before I close out.
Big Roy.
We good, man. Lock yourself down.
Said, oh, you good?
Do you?
All right,
Yeah.
so y'all know how it is. I ain't showing them after that. These are 2 more of the creations from Little Things. This is a water bottle, and this is another mug. I'm gonna put some stuff up. Check out Little Things by Khalil. Chloe, she said you need a glass. She said the one you drinking ain't got no decoration on it, but we already had that conversation.
I have a glass of decorations on it, but yeah, me and Miss Trina we'll talk.
So, y'all know I do this. I do this every Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Chloe got some free time, so I'm gonna drag her back because I ain't forgot how she had me on them panels trying to get me beat up by people at Dugan's and stuff.
You got your own self beat up. You in that mouth.
Okay, it's a tumbler. Yeah, Chloe tried to get me beat up at Dugan's in the cab. Y'all know how I feel about the cab. But I'll be back next Wednesday with some more stuff. I'm gonna see what Chloe got going. We're gonna do some. I promise y'all, we got some giveaways coming up for some makeup for those of y'all who want to get a hot date on a Thursday or Wednesday after the show. Hit me up if you got something you want to talk about. Inbox one of us. You know, we ain't much we won't talk about. We like having uncomfortable conversations, and we're gonna keep it real as we can. You're gonna get different perspectives because ain't nobody politically correct on here, so we don't really care about stuff like that. So with that being said, I want to thank my guests. Y'all was awesome. Chloe, you know, anytime you want to come back, we're gonna talk now since you're on vacation. I'm gonna steer you a little bit. This is Random Thoughts with DVP. Y'all know what it is. Until next time, peace, popcorn, and chicken grease. And we out.